Hey, what's up? Been about a week. So I have been, well, for one thing, I graduated from rehab. It's been about 6 months. Still no word on yet on when they're going to hire me for that one job I interviewed for. It's some processes just take a long time to closing dates. It is what it is. But I have been on a run of um, you could say spiritual, emotional, um, collecting victories as well. And I've just been processing all this music that's come in recently, or I've had a while and never gave a lot of attention to, or it's been a while. And I just went down the rabbit hole of Miles Davis and a few other things came in or I picked up recently. So today, the copy of Herbie Hancock's Perfect Machine. This is actually a Carrollton first press. And we moved over promo copy. So this is your reference grade. The last of the, is it Bill Laswell? Yeah. So the last of the Laswell trilogy. And it was just interesting because, and it plays great. I love the sound of it. But it starts, I closed the door on it because now I got $9. I finally sat down and played Future Shock, the Rockit trilogy, as it were to be. And come to find out that this is one of the real reference copies that float around for the basis of everything, the million synths. This is a 1A Howie Weinberg, Pittman, and this almost got thrown out 20 years ago when my great grandparents were cleaning their house out. So this was actually my dad's copy, and he obviously bought it as soon as it came out. The video was up over in Brooklyn, or he was in Manhattan at that point. They might have been. And I'd never listened to this before. So I took it out, and even with what clearly seemed to be either Guinness or coffee stains on the inner sleeve, his fingerprints are all over it. I tell you, I had to turn the volume down on the system. This, even with, there's no scuffware, there's no pops, there's nothing. Even with the fingerprint dirt and everything, it's master disc, heavy grooves, everything. This copy, it blew my mind. This sounds and played more perfectly than 98% of the CDs and any record I've ever heard. And it's not clean. But imagine what it's going to sound like when I clean it. It's just a little, you know, heavy to do it because you look back and go, oh, not only did I save this by pure chance, it's exactly the version that counts. And it was just a random 19-year-old dude walking in the store, picking it up. And I wonder, had I put it on years ago, what the discussion would be now if he knew he had the a premiere copy of that. And I put it on at Rockit, Future Shock, Earthbeat, Auto Drive, Rough. So you got Bill Laswell, you got a couple of these tracks. You got Sly Dunbar from the great Sly and Robbie, the reggae Jamaican rhythm section behind so many Grace Jones big albums. Look, I'm actually getting choked up talking about it. I had something coming in. It's just every track just grooves, even though he's going for this trilogy is the Kraftwerk electronica meets jazz and funk mixture. The whole trio is like that. But I put this on and just the quality, even with a lack of cleaning, it's still, the songs are that good. You almost want to go back to the 1983, and I was even alive for that. But still, it is what it is. And then several years ago, I got sound system, the immediate follow-up in '84. Again, HW Pittman press, not a 1A both sides. This is a 1B and a 1C, but whatever. It's so damn close quality-wise. You can't even tell it's on the first press third lacquer. It's so damn good. A little bit heavier on this one. Hard rock, metal beat. Oh, I forgot to mention Bernard Fowler's on a couple of these for vocals. Most people now know him as a backing vocalist of the Rolling Stones since 1989. So we've got him on here. We've Will Alexander with the Fairlight. Wayne Shorter on sax. The lineups for these 3 albums are just stacked. And I do love the heavier edge on this one a little bit. Hard rock, metal beat, Junku, People Are Changing, sound system. The only thing I noticed after playing this back twice, after playing Future Shock twice, it felt like the immediate follow-up, but maybe it started to feel a little same. Not to say this isn't fantastic, it is. But multiple plays back and forth. Future Shock is the slightly superior album. But again, I named off more than half the album already. I'm telling you how damn good it is. That said, when this came in today, I put this on. This was his last Columbia album in '88. We're going back to the Blue Note days with Columbia for him. And I dropped the needle on this thing. And I thought, okay, we're going to get some more. We might get some more of the heavier beats, so we're going to get something else. Oh, it's still got the Kraftwerk sound, but you start it up, and as soon as it starts, man, this thing is funky. The bass lines are just not only in the pocket, they just dominate, even with the keys. And I'm going, what? Like, damn, this is Parliament Funkadelic here. What are we doing? And then a couple of the vocals kick in. Everyone except the main vocalist is on a vocoder, but you get the occasional jive. Oh baby, yeah, let's get down. I'm going. This really does sound like P-Funk. Hold on a minute. I go to the credits, and sure enough, you got Sugarfoot from the Ohio Players Band, and on bass is Bootsy Collins himself. So as soon as I got through Perfect Machine, an obsession started, and more of your classic Clinton or even James Brown vocals started to come in. I was just grooving. I didn't even turn it over and play it a second time. I just loved this. Maybe because it was a couple of years removed, and Hancock and Laswell wanted to do something a bit different. And since this is the last album, he even went ahead and did he covered himself, Maiden Voyage with P-Bop. So that's his old Blue Note days. And essentially he updates both together into one electronic, machine-heavy style, just to wrap it up and go back. Chemical Residue, Five Alive. There is not a bad song on this album. I could be wrong, but some people say Sound System is better. I think it's a stylistic shift, and whereas Sound System gets a little heavier in spots, it still blends in after Future Shock. Perfect Machine is going through all his eras pretty much, still keeping the electronic aspect, but the industrial, not industrial, but Kraftwerk, So, loved it. Absolutely loved it. I wish I'd played Future Shock years ago and been more of a jazz fan when he was alive, because this would have been fun to go through with him. And then a while back, I picked up, maybe 2 years ago, I picked up the 1980 album Monster, clean copy, but I said, I'm looking through reviews. I figured, well, if I'm going to talk about this Herbie Rockit Laswell trilogy I just finished, let me go review Monster real quick. And before I do that, Let me go put on Feet Don't Fail Me Now, because I'm really sure those were his two, might have been three, just disco albums. I'm pretty sure it was just these two, though. It amazes me how much Feet Don't Fail Me Now and Monster get a lot of flack from the jazz critics, because it's not supposed to be totally jazz. I know it's a jazz and blues master, but we're not doing that. We're doing what he's doing, especially on this one, is, and you could tell, come on, look at that back cover. The big pyramid, multicolor, we're in Egypt. This is an Earth, Wind, and Fire album he's just trying to make. But they had some more Latin grooving and some of the other world instrumental sounds. You look at the lineup on here, let's see. Yes, there are Sennheiser vocoder, the 201 on Herbie's vocals, when he actually does lead. If that was actually him on lead vocals. If it wasn't, I thought it was on Monster as well, but if that was him part of the time, it actually doesn't have a bad soulful voice. But I think it was the Waters family on both, largely speaking. But let's got Ray Parker Jr. on Ready or Not. Congas and everything is Sheila E., one of the greatest of her generation, who can do percussion on and blend in 9 different genres in it as offhand as quick as you want to. Benny Maupin, Ready Freddie Washington, Wah-Wah Watson on bass. This is a stacked lineup on this album. You Bet Your Love, Trust Me, Honey from the Jar, Knee Deep. I get that this is a move to being disco and writing more pop and funk and having soulful sing-along type of things. But for his own attempt for a first stab at it, he did pretty damn good. Again, the jazz community's pissed off about it. It doesn't have high rankings today, but it's a solid album. If anything, the vocoder on the lead vocals kind of, it's not too over the top high like parts of Neil Young's Trans, but you know what I'm saying. When you go to here, there's no vocoder on any of this. Every track has lyrics. Whereas Feats, because of the vocoder, gave it a little bit of a slight robotic aspect to the soulful backings vocals and everything. This is just straight up your partly romantic attempt at disco. Again, I keep saying Earth, Wind, and Fire because there's so much going on with the instrumentation and everything like that. That's what comes to mind. Wasn't the other one not Blood, Sweat, and Tears? Well, Blood, Sweat, and Tears or Rare Earth. You know, it all comes around Saturday night. Don't hold it in, let it out. Stars in your eyes. These are back to back. If you like again, Earth, Wind, and Fire. If you love that mid 70s, 75 to 83 run of Earth, Wind, and Fire, this is right in your wheelhouse. I don't see a problem. I like the more naturally soulful vocals on this one, though. A lot easier. And the crazy artwork. Come on. Sorry for the glare. I'm not sitting in the living room because cloudy today, and I just don't feel like fighting with the blind glare up front with the light on behind me. Let's just use the natural lighting as best as possible for this one. So I'm going to cut this here. That's a start. The last of the Headhunters trilogy, an OG copy of that, because I have the other two in original. Manchild is on its way, as is the Interrupting album he did in '78, where he sat down with the other Miles Davis alumni, Chick Corea, and they did the duet album. It's a 2 LP, clean white cover. Apparently, is what I got. Top quality. Like I said, I've been on a roll with finding the best or close to the best versions in their best copy, best pressing possible, and way under market. So I shouldn't be spending it all, but you walk on and you find 10 Miles Davis CDs for $2 to $4, just as you're starting to get into them and understand it after all these years. Well, shit, you can fill it all up together and go with it. So that's on the way, and I'm about to spin this Japanese SHM edition of Chick Corea's The Song of Singing. This has got, God, I said this has got Dave Holland on it. Yeah, this one on Dave Holland. Very out of the shell. Okay, so the second best version of this album available. The best would be the original SHM from about 5 years before, when they made it, the thin paper sleeve, and they made it numbered. This is your newer mass-produced jewel case, but I figured for the money, for $15, and I don't have to deal with surface noises and questionable plants and all that good. Sonically, with all the different things they're doing for equalization, this is the one that seems to be the go with. I'll give that a spin when I'm done recording these. But let's start with this one right here. We'll go on to another one or two. Oof, got a lot.